Okay, so we are live. I'm going to welcome everyone to our interview. So today I'm interviewing Jody Almond. Hi, Jody.
Hi, Lenka. It's great to meet you.
Oh, so it's so great to have you here on my show. By the name of my show is Dear Lenka, and it's going to be also a podcast. So I'm so happy to have this dear friend of mine, Jody. We've had pretty roller coaster of a journey this year. Like it's been 5 months of a very intensive leadership program, and we continue being in touch. And I've learned so much about you and from you, and I've seen the transformation in you, which is so amazing. So I just wanted to introduce you. So I know that you're a husband, you've got children.
Yes.
I think your wife is also going through the training soon. You're a father. You're a pastor, which very interests me. You're an author of a very successful #1 bestseller book on Amazon, which is called Going All In, or Go All In. What's the title?
Going All In, Finding Success Through Surrender.
Oh, amazing. I love the cover, and I get to buy your book as well. And I also know that you're an inspirational speaker. That's why you're here. And you're a faith-based success strategies, and I know you've been helping me with my business as well, with positioning myself, so thank you so much. So
Absolutely.
Jody, tell us a little bit about all of your, like, what's your biggest passion out of this? I know you've got, like, we all are, like, what's the word, jack of all trades, like entrepreneurs. Sure. We get all different hats, but what is your biggest passion? What do you enjoy the most?
I think my biggest passion is just helping people connect to their true, I call it their divine design. Again, I'm a faith-based person, so I'm not cramming that down anyone or pushing it on anyone. But, you know, just helping people find their real reason for existing. Why are you here? What is your purpose? What are you meant to do? And once you find that, Lenka, everything begins to become a whole lot simpler in life. And a lot of success comes. Joy comes, peace comes, everything comes once you find that missing piece. It's almost like the missing link to life.
Yes, it's really beautiful how you said it. And I get people now asking, how is it? How do you find this purpose? Like some people are looking for this purpose. They're looking everywhere, they're doing everything, or they say they do, but they cannot find it. And some people don't find the purpose until, I don't know, next life maybe. So what do you do? Like, tell us some tricks.
Okay, so I can give you a few tips. Yeah. So one of the things that you want to look for is, again, from a faith-based perspective, I believe we all have gifts. Okay, so we have giftings given to us from the Creator. So you want to discover what those giftings are. Another thing I do with the clients I work with, I'll give you 3 tips. One is gifts. Another is passion. What are you passionate about? What gets you excited? What lights your fire? What could you wake up every morning and not dread doing? You would love doing it. And go to bed every night knowing if you did that thing or those things and was that in your life, you know, what would you go to bed feeling like you made a difference in the world today? So not only your gifts, your passions, but also this is one most people don't consider, and that is your pain points. And when I talk about pain points, it could be that you had someone in your family that had an illness that really just affected your life. It could be that you went through some kind of traumatic experience sometime in your life. But if you think about it, most of us have something that we're attracted to or that draws us that is related to a heartbreak, a physical impairment, something, right? That causes us to have that. Maybe it was the fact that a woman had a miscarriage and, you know, her heart goes out to women who have miscarriages, you know, so it could be an integral part of, and usually it ends up becoming an integral piece of the puzzle when people are finding their purpose. And there's some other things in there and part of the strategy I use to help people discover their purpose. But so far, everyone I've helped is excited, fired up, ready to go out and make a difference in the world. And they realize, man, this is me. This is me. This is exactly who I'm meant to be.
And I would really wish everyone to experience this feeling, because it's so beautiful when people find a purpose, when they find a calling, because you are like, they are in the element, right? We are in our element when we are creating, when we are, and I love that you mentioned women and women having miscarriages, how that can block the whole creating process, right? Because conception is creation. right? When they're miscarrying, it's that energy that they need to then again like recover within themselves.
Yes.
And I think it's so like I'm also going through some process now with this in this area, and it's up and down. Like literally, like you guys, I don't know how you do it, but you can just be so focused and so stable. And that's what we like about you guys, because women are like up and down all the time. So do you have any like, what's your best advice for me that like feeling like this?
Well, in my experience as a woman, no, I'm just kidding. No, here's what I've learned. And I'm not gonna stereotype a group of people, but in general senses, men are very focused. And listen, I don't mean that we can't be sporadic, but most men, the way I've taught it, most men, their minds are like boxes. And when a box is open, so in other words, if I'm watching sports on television, it's not a good time for my wife to have a very serious conversation with me. You know, it's not a time to, let's talk about the children. You know, if she's going to do that, she's learned, okay, so let me get your attention. Let's turn off the sports so I can have your undivided attention. Because in truth, we can't multitask anyway, Lenka. There's really no way a human being can give 100% to two things at one time. It's actually been created as switch tasking is what it is. And so your brain is constantly switching between two things. And so what happens is that for men, I find majoritively that we are able to just get focused on one thing. Women, my wife can be sitting and sewing, watching TV, having a phone conversation, and I'm like, how in God's name does she do this? You know what I'm saying? I can't do this. I do good to chew gum and walk, you know? So the thing is that we need to learn that when we get focused, and this is huge for productivity, when you can get focused and getting your flow, if you can focus on something very intently for 20 minutes, you will get what takes most people an hour and a half to accomplish.
Yes.
It's just truth. And so just being able to understand that men's brains work that way, and we open the box, so sports, and then we close the box, you know, and then we go on to something else. And we're not really thinking about sports anymore. Now we're thinking about working on the car, mowing the lawn, or whatever it may be. And so with that concept, maybe that is a hidden blessing for us men, you know, because it seems that women a lot of times have 1,000 things running through their system in their mind. And I do at times, but 1,000 things. And so I think just taking a breath, this is what I would say to anyone, taking a breath, centering yourself, and then removing distractions and getting focused on what you're either doing or trying to be, whatever that is, focus on that and allow yourself a time, set a timer, say for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to focus on this project. And focus on that project or that work or whatever it is you're doing, or spending time with that person. Set your phone aside and spend quality time with that person. But, you know, we have the ability to choose. Every day we wake up with a choice and a chance, right? Everybody wakes up with the same two options. We have a choice, we get to choose, and we get a new chance at a new day. So in that day and in those moments, we get to choose that I am going to focus on this for the next amount of time. Then I'm going to shift my focus to this. And in time management, Link, I teach people that in those transitions, so if I focus on this recording right now, I give you my undivided attention right now, then when we're done, I'm going to take a 15 to 20 minute break to let my brain reset. Yeah. So I may go grab a snack, I may go for a walk, I may have a conversation with my wife that's not very deep, you know, whatever. I may make a phone call, and then I'll shift and I'll go to something new. And that way my brain is ready to focus on the new thing and completely away from the old thing.
I liked how you put the emphasis on that. I don't know if you read the book, The One Thing. Do you know the book? It's incredible. And it exactly explains this. Like, women are good at multitasking by switching the attention. But actually the book, it goes into so many details about why we shouldn't be doing this. Okay, men are like, women are like very terrible with this. Like when I was first time told you just have to do one thing every month of my performance interview when I worked for a bank, I was like, what is he talking about? He was a man. I was like, yeah, he's a man. Like, he's just saying this stuff. But it's true. It's so true, because when we are doing one thing, we are putting all of the attention on that. Or I like that you mentioned when we are with someone, like are we able to turn everything else off and just give the full undivided attention to this person? I think it's just so important. And I would like to mention from that book, like, there's things that we can do together and there's things we shouldn't do together. So he explains, when you're walking, it's okay when you're in a safe environment to listen to something and or talk to someone. But if you are walking on a really rocky in the Himalayas summit where you could slip and die, you cannot do two things at the same time, because you will naturally pause when you are talking or thinking or listening. You would pause to take that step. So I think that's pretty important to mention, that yes, we can do two things. Like right now, I'm listening to you, I'm on the screen and I'm sitting. Like, these are activities that are not engaging my brain as much. So I just want to say hello to everyone who is watching, and please put your questions in the comments. We'd be happy to answer any questions. We've got quite a few people watching. So hello to all parts of the world. I'm in Italy, Europe. Jody, where are you?
I'm in North Carolina in the US.
Oh, amazing. I love that. And thank you so much for finding the time to be here. I would like to share something with our audience. What do you think, Jody? Shall we do that?
Yeah, let's give them a laugh.
Let's do it. We've got a little gift prepared for you guys. And this is a snippet from our leadership course, where we had a task or a stretch to create something. It was 5 o'clock in the morning for me, and it was about 11 p.m. for Jody, and we had a limited time to create it. So I'm just gonna screen share something that's gonna make you laugh. Are you ready, guys? If you are, put yes in the comments, and let's have a look at something funny. Okay, here we go.
What an amazing performance. I will be honest with you, Lenka. I really thought fake Fiona had this one in the bag, but in the end, she ends up with the losing banana. So Fiona, man, you really had us faked out, but what do you want to say about your loss tonight?
I mean, I clearly was a real winner. I mean, she wasn't even coordinated. She totally looked uncool. Like, let's be honest. Everyone knows I'm the better dancer.
Well, Jody, I'm here with the winner, authentic Rogina, and what a spectacular performance.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I felt so free, so liberated, so me. Ah!
Well, that is great. Now go out in the world and keep being yourself.
Talk about.
So that's a little surprise that we had prepared, and something funny that it's, you know, what was really beautiful about this project was that everything was so beautifully aligned. Like, nobody was fighting over who's doing what. It was just so easy, wasn't it? Compared to our very first task, like 5 months earlier, where people were like fighting over like small things. And this is a beautiful journey. I mean, how was your experience of this?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to be a part of. And, you know, something greatly I took away from that experience, Lincoln, and I actually do a lot of teaching on now, is the importance of partnership. You know, it's vital that we have partnerships. Think about this. If you use the illustration of the Himalayas, hopefully no one would go to the Himalayas and try to climb the summit alone.
Yeah.
Most likely they would have at least one other person with them in case they slipped, in case something happened, that they would have someone to help them up. That's the importance of partnerships. And when we realize that life isn't as much about a competition as it is a collaboration, then I believe we will find a lot more success on our personal and professional journeys.
Yes, you said it really nicely. And I can actually speak for myself, because I did go to Himalayas. And I did travel alone, but I was never alone, Jody, because and if I can share something, it was such an incredible place and such an incredible experience that I can't even like put in the words, because everything, like I felt so close to the heaven, for example. and to my father. I lost my father. And when I was there, like before I was going there, I was a bit confused. And I was like, okay, I don't know where I'm going next and what I'm doing. And actually, I got instant clarity. And the energy there is so like high vibrational because there are so many people who are enlightened, so many people who are monks, there are monasteries, there are ashrams, there are temples. It's absolutely incredible. Have you been to a place like this?
I've had my own mountaintop experience, but not at the altitude of the Himalayas. But I think it's I think it's sometimes the seclusion, don't you? It's getting secluded and away from, again, all those distractions. Your mind is able to really connect with something deeper than our cell phones or the television or whatever. There's something very special, in my opinion, about getting back to nature a little bit. And I've actually been once a week taking hikes myself in the local area, just to do this, just to clear my mind, just to think. And I can tell you it's been hugely advantageous for me. And so, yeah, I can see we're definitely getting out on the Himalayas and doing a backpack would be so beneficial, because that was my experience. I went for 4 days and spent on top of a mountain, and it was hugely, again, advantageous and inspirational, and, all of those things for me.
Wow. And where was that? Like, which mountain was it?
It was actually on the Appalachian Trail, here in North Carolina. I actually lived right at the foot of the trail for years. And so I went and just took a sabbatical. I went and took just a 4-day excursion, stayed in a cabin with no electricity or running water, and just spent time, just getting clarity, really getting clarity and connecting, with again, God from my perspective, connecting with God and, those things. And just really had an amazing experience and encounter while I was there. So absolutely.
It's just so beautiful how you put it in perspective, because it doesn't have to be the Himalayas. Like, it could just be a park around the corner, but it's really like putting ourselves in that moment and actually being in the present moment. I'm so stunned with people nowadays, like how they're so attached to so many things or people, or situations, or the past or the future, or if there's always something, and they forget to be in the moment and to actually enjoy life. Do you experience this? What would be your advice?
It's so funny you brought that up. I went hiking on Monday, and while I was hiking, I caught myself with my mind being in the future. So I was thinking about what was coming, right? And I actually, I'll be honest, I'll be very vulnerable. I stopped. There was a tree there. I leaned against the tree, closed my eyes, like this, closed my eyes, took 3 or 4 deep cleansing breaths, and said to myself, be present, enjoy this moment. Tomorrow may never come. Yesterday is in the past. It's gone. I can't do anything about it. I have right here, right now. I may not even make it home from this mountain. So I have right here, right now. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy the smells, enjoy the breeze that is blowing, the sun that is warming my skin, enjoy it all. And I shifted, Lenka, because I'm very analytical, and I find myself, and I told myself this on that hike, that a lot of my time is spent either what should I do better, right? Or what am I doing an hour from now? And that's where I was. I was like, what am I doing when I leave here? And I was going to miss that moment. And so, yes, I'm in the process. I'm in the process of, for myself, learning to enjoy the journey, enjoy the moments. And there's a quote from a cartoonist who did a cartoon called The Family Circus. And he said, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is the present because it's a gift from God. And so whether you believe in God or not, realize today is a gift. You have today. Let's make the most of it.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I mean, how incredible that you shifted so fast. And were you always able to do it, or is that a journey? Do you find yourself we slip back to our old habits?
Yeah. It's easy to slip back. And that's what I'm saying. Like I slipped back into the old habits. I've been trying to focus on enjoying the journey and as you said, be present. So if I'm with someone, whether that's you right now or a client I'm coaching or whatever, I try to remove all distractions and I try to be very present in the moment. But I do still find myself getting caught away by the future or the past, right? And so it's something that I used to not even be aware of. And so if you're not aware of something, you can't change it. But once you become aware of it, it becomes an awareness that when these things happen, now I recognize them and I have the choice again. Again, I get to choose, right? I have the choice to either let that be my focus. If we can tie all this together, let that be my focus. So I could have chosen to focus on what I had to do the remainder of the day when I got home, or I could choose to shift my focus and I could focus on, let's just enjoy what we came here to do. Let's don't be in a rush. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy every moment of it. And that's what I chose to do. And from that moment on, I enjoyed the nature, the squirrels that were running around or the, whatever, the beautiful scenery I was able to enjoy. And once I was complete, I shifted focus and then I began to think about, okay, now when I was back at my vehicle, what is next? What am I doing next? And so it's hugely, hugely important and imperative, I believe, not only to peace of mind, but to real prosperity in life, to learn to do this. And since I've began learning to do this, Linka, I can say that I've seen greater success in my life.
Wow, that's incredible. And that reminds me when I used to live in England that all the squirrels belong to the queen, as far as I remember.
Wow.
And they have, like in Slovakia, we have only the forest wild red squirrels, which are hard to spot. But in England, they have these gray squirrels that apparently have some kind of virus, and they could that could kill the red ones. So the red ones live on the island, the Brownsea Island. Yeah, it's really, really, really beautiful to share.
Wow.
Thank you for taking me back. Yeah, I was gonna ask you something because you're a business strategist and I have my experience with you, but I also hear some coaches, even the believers, they would say, you'd be crazy if you just follow your intuition or faith. Like you'd be crazy if you just believe that things are gonna happen. So what's your advice on this? Like give us a bit of an insight on how you coach and how you strategize using the faith. Like that's my question.
Sure. So I agree 100% with that, opinion. And here's why. I'm trying to think of an illustration we can use. Technology has advanced so far that a lot of illustrations we could use, I can't use any longer. So here's a way to think of it. When you wake up in the morning, your mind, as you're getting awake, your mind is telling you whatever your routine is. So maybe your routine is to get up, go to the restroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, whatever, whatever our routines are. We're usually creatures of habit, so we stick with it. So let's say you wake up in the morning and your mind, as you get the sleep away from your eyes and the drugginess gone, your mind is saying, okay, so let's go to the restroom, or let's go to wash our face, or let's go start the coffee pot, whatever that looks like. Here's the thing, Linka, you can have faith and believe that's going to happen, but does it just happen? No.
You have to
there has to be action. And so faith is great. Faith is instrumental. Faith is imperative to finding success. You have to believe, and everything starts in the imagination before it becomes a manifestation. Right? So it starts here, it's in my thought processes, which is faith, but then through my actions and my words and the things I do, it manifests itself, right? So whatever's in here will come out of here. And so what happens is I get up. Now, I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone where you maybe got up and your legs were asleep or something, they felt like really, really numb and they just didn't want to hold you up. And but here's the thing is that you don't know until you move forward. And so a lot of people that have this idea that I can just say something or I can just have faith in something and it's going to happen, you must realize that there has to be a strategy behind that. And I was just sharing this with the gentleman an hour ago, that so many people, the problem they have that I find, even with goals, I'm not against goals. I don't really like the word. I like the word growth better than goals. But let's just say you set a goal. Here's the problem is that if you, motivation, let's use motivation. How many people do you know that listens constantly, watches constantly, motivational concepts, but they're no better off in their life? Yes, they're getting a lot of encouragement, they're getting a lot of inspiration, but they're not getting the information behind the inspiration on how to make their life more successful. So there has to be a plan, because those that fail to plan to fail.
Yes.
And so there has to be a plan. There has to be a strategy that goes in place. And if you want to know some of the top things that the most successful, I'm talking about the 1%ers in the world, are doing, it's that they are disciplined and that they have strategy. Now, do they have a vision? Yes. But a vision isn't enough all by itself. You have to have a way to put that vision into action.
Absolutely, yeah. I like how you put it in perspective, because I also do interviews on the law of attraction, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I've gone through my journey where it's literally saved my life, because I was in a position where I couldn't sleep for like 3 months. I don't know what was going on. Like, it was just a build up stress. And it's literally my brother actually handed me this book, which I had never heard of before. This was the year 2008, 9, I would say, because I couldn't sleep. I was getting depressed, and I was like, you know what happened to me? Like, I started reading the book, and by the end, I was like, when I was finishing the one sentence, I couldn't think, like I couldn't understand, and I couldn't focus on that one thing. I started cleaning the kitchen, and I couldn't complete it. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not me. And he gave me a valuable advice, which I'm grateful for, because he said, don't think about it. Don't think about understanding everything right now.
Yeah.
Just give yourself some slack, and just enjoy the process. Just read it one page. And if you don't remember it, I couldn't remember stuff. If you don't remember it, or if you don't understand it, don't worry. Just put a book away. You've done your part, and you come back, and then you do the next page, and then you put it away. And I like how he basically gave me a plan. Like, he gave me step by step. And I was like, okay, I can do a page. I don't have to understand the whole book right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible, actually, that the law of attraction, a lot of people think it's, or even God or faith or what it is. They always, like, I meet people that they just pray and that's it. And that the way they live their life is completely different. I noticed they always sit at the first row in the church, but they would just like go and stab someone the next minute. I'm like, what about the 10 commandments? Like, did you not just like yeah, so this is something incredible, that people just expect stuff, they're not grateful, and they don't want to take action. Like, they just expect things like they're gonna fall in their lap. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, actually, because that's a huge step to, and you give this blueprint to people. Like, you literally sit down with people and you're like, okay, let's look at what you've got and let's see what's your next step. And you're like there 24/7 supporting your clients, which is so incredible. So if somebody wants to work with you, are there any requirements? Are there any specific fields they have to be in? Like, do they have to be writers, or what is, like, tell us.
Not necessarily. Again, I do coach from a faith-based perspective. Again, I hope everybody sees, I'm not the guy that's really pushy with it, but it's at my core. It's my home base. It's everything comes from there. So, even sometimes people don't realize that a lot of things I've shared today comes from that, without being blunt about it. But with that being said, you don't even have to be faith-based. Just understand that's where I come from. Right. The other thing is, no, I've helped people with brick and mortar. I've helped people with online. I've helped people with authors with their book concepts. I've helped, and I say help, I should say support. I've supported people with a lot of different aspects of their their growth, personal and professional. I've got an artist that I'm working with right now. She's an author, artist, and actor. And, just one of the things that's happened for her is she's realized that she doesn't have to choose one or the other. She gets to have it all. And I believe we can have everything we've been created to do. And so she just got her artwork put into a major gallery in her hometown and just sold her first piece for 3 times what she would have sold it for if she were selling it herself. And so it's just finding the way to help people. I listen to what you say. I'm very attentive. So I listen to what you say. And then the way my brain works, there's these strategies that come in and we figure out your strategy. And as you said, as human beings, Lenka, we can only take one step at a time. That's all. And so you take one step and then you take the next step and then you take the next step and realize it is a process. Everybody wants to get to the prize, but nobody wants to go through the process. And the reason why we see all these successful people, and a lot of that is fake because of social media, but the really successful people will tell you that they've not gotten there overnight. It's been a journey. It's been a process. There's been painful moments. And, they will share that, whether they're actors or Warren Buffett or whoever, they share the truth of, I didn't get here quickly. It took some steps to get here. Just like you climbing the Himalayas. You can't look at the bottom and say, oh, I want to be at the top. And all of a sudden you're at the top. There's some climbing involved. There's some sweating. There's probably some bleeding. There's some exhaustion. There's some excitement. There's everything on the spectrum involved in that climb. But once you get to the top, you get to say, I'm segregated because I have become one of the very few who have made it to the top of the Himalayas, Wow. And so that's what I help people do. And so, yeah, there's really, the only qualification I ask for is that you're serious. Let's don't waste commitment. Let's don't waste each other's time. If you're serious about changing your life and shifting your life, I'm so serious about helping you and supporting you doing that.
Absolutely, because I've had to turn down 2 people today who have been my clients, but I said, look, you are not showing up, you are not committed. I'm not going to work with you. Like, I'm not here for a joke. I'm here to actually create something huge. So it takes some time to get the head right and to be in the right space. I don't know if it's a space, but take ownership, right? Take the responsibility, be responsible,
right,
and own it. Like, own the responsibility for every action, not just in the business. We cannot be one person there and one person there. We are the same human being and the same soul. So I really appreciate people who are true leaders and who are responsible and committed and driven and who want to actually make the difference in this world, because this world right now, I think more than ever, needs people like you to be able to actually lift others, right? To lift others, to fire them up. I'm actually creating a course called From Stuck to Fired Up. And I can't wait to see people's successes. And I already see it. Like, I already see them step by step, also building their platforms, their websites, the landing pages, the workshops. And it's truly incredible. Once they get the head right, it's like in one day they create so many things that they've been waiting to do for like 2 years. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you at the end a question about your book. Like, where can people find your book? How can they connect with you as well as a coach and a strategist?
Absolutely. And let me say this before we do that, if I can, really quickly. I want to honor you because that was you standing in integrity, because you could have easily took their money and let them still waste their time. And that's what I'm saying, is that I want people committed. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to take your money. I want to, be compensated for, and you do as well, Lenka, be compensated for the support, for the knowledge, for the wisdom that we're giving you. But we want to see you implement that. We want to see you get success, because we don't want to see you fail. So, again, that commitment is huge, but thank you for being integrous and, keeping your integrity in that. So the way people can connect with me, you can get the book in a lot of different places. It's 39,000 streams around the world. The easiest way to do this is people can connect, and there's links to purchase the book. There's all kinds of information about me, testimonials from clients I've worked with, all kinds of information on my website at Solution. That's SOULUTIONS or IN, Solution Ministries, plural.com. And so it's a little play on words, because what I found is everybody in the world is facing problems and they're looking for a solution, like 1 + 1 = 2, a solution. But usually it goes deeper than that, and it's a matter of a person's soul. And there's something that needs shifting in the soul. So I help people find the solution to their problem, whether it's personal or professional, and then we shift and we move forward in success. So it's solutionministries.com. And again, you can connect with me there. You can schedule a complimentary coaching call there. There's a lot of features there that you can do.
Yes, I was going to say that people can schedule or book a call with you. That's what I did exactly. So can we pop the link in the chat so people can come and connect with you? Because I know you also, some of your personal goals, maybe connecting with, was it 500 people by the end of the year or something like this? What's your goal?
Well, by the end of my life, I want to connect with over 5 million people and make a true difference in their life. And so let me make sure I'm on your page. I am, and I'll pop that in right now.
What number are you on?
I'm not there yet.
No, but what is it? Like, have you reached, like, I don't know, 1,000? Because it all starts with the first step, right?
It is. And here's the thing, for some of it, it's hard to scale, right? Because I don't know every single person that listens to your show in the whole history or the future, right? So in other words, this will stay recorded, it'll stay available. So it's hard to see. But yeah, I mean, so far in my lifetime, I know I've reached, somewhere close to probably 10,000 people through every avenue, because I've spoken at some pretty good size events and things. And that's just continuing to grow. So,
well, I'll give you the number, let's say in a month, to see how many people have seen this video, because I can pull this information. And I know you're analytical, so you like that. And I hate to have this video because I really enjoy talking to you, and you're going to be back. Sure. You're going to be back on my show. I'm so happy to have you. And I'm going to speak on the topic of self-love tonight and next Wednesday. So if anyone wants to join my summit of health or well-being, you are free. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. And thank you so much, Jody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everyone. And I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.